They say hindsight is 20/20. I never truly understood what that meant until now, until I sat here at 77, staring at a lifetime of choices, some good, some bad, and some that haunt me every single day. If you're watching this, you're either young enough to avoid my mistakes or just old enough to recognize them in your own life. Either way, I hope my regrets can become your lessons. Because trust me, the weight of regret is far heavier than any financial burden. I made critical mistakes in my retirement planning. Mistakes that, if I could go back, I would fix in a heartbeat. Mistakes that no financial advisor ever warned me about, not because they didn't know, but because some things you only realize when it's too late. And today, I want to share them with you. Let's start with the first one. Mistake number 1. I thought money was the hardest part of retirement. For most of my life, I believed that if I had enough money, retirement would be easy. So I worked hard, I saved, I invested, I skipped vacations, skipped nights out with friends, all in the name of financial security. And in many ways, I did okay. I wasn't rich, but I had enough to live comfortably. But what I didn't realize, what no one told me, was that retirement isn't just about money, it's about purpose. Let me explain. For 40 years, my career defined me. I had a routine, I had colleagues, I had a reason to wake up in the morning. Then one day, it was gone. At first, retirement felt like a vacation. I slept in, I watched TV, I played golf. But after a few months, something strange happened. I felt lost. Have you ever woken up in the morning and wondered, what's the point? That was me. It turns out, financial security is only one part of the equation. The real challenge is emotional security, having a reason to get up every day, a reason to feel valuable, a reason to contribute. And if you don't build that before retirement, you'll feel the emptiness like a weight in your chest. So what should you do? Don't just plan for money, plan for meaning, start something, volunteer, learn, build. Stay active in something bigger than yourself. Because no matter how much you save, no number in your bank account can replace purpose. Mistake number 2. I didn't take health seriously until it was too late. I used to think old age just happened. You slow down, you get aches and pains, and eventually you just fade. But here's the truth I wish I had understood sooner. Old age doesn't just happen, it's earned. For decades, I ignored my body. I skipped workouts. I ate whatever I wanted. I sat at a desk for hours every day. And I told myself, I'll get healthy later. Well, later came. And it came with high blood pressure, aching joints, and a body that doesn't do what I ask it to anymore. I see other men my age still hiking, still traveling, still enjoying life. And then I see myself carefully measuring my steps, avoiding stairs, and feeling like my body has become my own prison. The worst part? I had time to change, but I didn't. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a gym rat in your 60s, but if you're still young enough to move freely, cherish that. Protect it. Strengthen it. Because once your health is gone, no amount of money can buy it back. Here's what I wish I had done differently. 1. Strength training. Not just for muscles, but for bone density. You don't want to be that person who breaks a hip from a simple fall. 2. Mobility exercises, yoga, stretching, anything to keep your joints moving. Stiffness is a silent thief. 3. Eating smart, not obsessively but mindfully. Less sugar, fewer processed foods, more whole foods. And the most important, walking. If you do nothing else, just walk every day. It's the simplest, most effective way to keep your body functional for decades. Take it from me, the pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. Mistake number 3, I assumed relationships would stay the same. Here's something no one warns you about. Retirement changes your relationships, and not always for the better. When I was working, my friends were my colleagues. We saw each other every day. We grabbed lunch, we complained about work. We had something that connected us. But once I retired, those friendships faded. Not because we stopped caring, but because we stopped seeing each other, and I didn't realize how much I had neglected my personal relationships until it was too late. And it's not just friends. Your marriage changes too. When my wife and I were raising kids, managing jobs, and juggling life, we didn't realize how much of our time was spent doing rather than being together. Then suddenly we had all the time in the world, and we didn't know how to spend it. Some couples grow closer, others grow apart. And it's not just spouses. If you have kids, they're busy with their own lives. Grandkids have school, activities, their own worlds to live in. No one prepares you for how lonely retirement can be if you don't actively maintain your relationships. So, what do? 1. Stay social, even when it's inconvenient. Say yes to the dinner invites. Call your old friends, join a group, a class, anything. 2. Invest in your partner. Don't wait until retirement to figure out what you enjoy together. Find hobbies, go on dates, keep learning about each other. 3. Be present for family. Don't just expect them to come to you. Go to their games, their events, show up for them so they'll show up for you. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much you saved, no matter how healthy you are, life feels empty without people to share it with. Mistake number 4. I underestimated inflation and unexpected expenses. I thought I had saved enough. I really did. For years, I followed the financial advice I was given. Save a percentage of my income, invest in stable assets, and make sure I had enough to cover my planned expenses. But what I didn't plan for were the unexpected ones. See, retirement isn't just about having enough money. It's about making sure that money still has value when you actually need it. I didn't account for inflation. How the same groceries I used to buy for $100 now cost nearly $200. How medical bills that used to be manageable became a major financial strain. And then there were the unexpected expenses. Home repairs. The roof needed fixing. The plumbing had issues. The house, which had once felt like a solid investment, suddenly became a money pit. Medical bills. No one prepares you for how expensive aging is. From medications to surgeries to the small things, like hearing aids and dental work, it all adds up. Family emergencies. I never thought I'd still be helping my grown children financially, but life happens. A job loss, a divorce, a grandchild needing tuition. And as a parent, it's hard to say no when your family is struggling. At 65, my retirement plan looked perfect on paper. By 75, I was watching my savings shrink faster than I expected. What would I do differently? 1. Save more than you think you need. Everyone tells you to save 25 times your annual expenses, but I say, plan for 30 or even 35 times, because prices will always rise. 2. Invest for growth. Too many retirees go ultra-conservative with their investments. I played it safe, but in hindsight, I wish I had kept part of my portfolio growing. 3. Plan for healthcare costs. Get the best insurance you can afford and always have a separate fund just for medical emergencies. 4. Live below your means. Retirement isn't the time to suddenly start spending big. The habits you build before retirement will dictate whether your money lasts. The scariest thing about retirement isn't running out of time. It's running out of money while you still have time left. Mistake number 5. I didn't downsize soon enough. My house was my pride and joy. I bought it when I was young, raised my children in it, and filled it with memories. But what I didn't realize was that the home I once loved would eventually become a burden. For years, I resisted the idea of downsizing. I have too many memories here. What if the kids want to come home for the holidays? I like having space. But do you know what happened? The maintenance became exhausting. Cleaning, mowing the lawn, fixing leaks, things that were once easy became a struggle. The costs kept rising. Property taxes, utility bills, unexpected repairs, it all added up. The extra space became useless. My kids had their own homes. Most rooms sat empty. I was paying to heat and cool a house that was far too big for me. By the time I finally sold it, I was older, weaker, and more exhausted than ever. Downsizing felt overwhelming, and I wished I had done it sooner, while I still had the energy to enjoy a fresh start. Here's what I wish I had done. Move before you need to. It's easier to transition to a smaller home when you're still physically and mentally sharp. 2. Choose a home that fits your future needs. Think about accessibility. Will stairs be a problem later? Will you need a home near doctors or family? 3. Sell while the market is strong. Holding on to a large home too long can mean missing out on peak market prices. 4. Emotionally prepare. A house is just walls. The real memories are in the people, not the place. If you're still living in a big home, but rarely use half the rooms, consider downsizing now. It's not about giving up. It's about setting yourself up for freedom. Mistake number 6. I thought I had more time. If I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this: do it now. For years, I put things off. I'll travel when I retire. I'll spend more time with family later. I'll start that hobby someday. Well, guess what? Someday never came the way I expected. I assumed retirement would be a time of adventure, but by the time I finally had time, I didn't always have the health or the energy. I always wanted to go to Italy. Now my knees won't let me walk for long periods. I dreamed of learning to play the piano, but my fingers don't move the way they used to. I thought I'd have more time with old friends, but many of them are gone now. The biggest mistake of retirement isn't financial. It's thinking you have more time than you do. So if you take anything from this, let it be this: take the trips. Don't wait until you're less busy. You'll never be as young as you are today. 2. Spend time with loved ones. Don't assume people will always be there. Call them, visit them, make the effort. 3. Say yes to experiences. Don't let fear or laziness stop you from making memories. 4. Do what excites you. If there's something you've always wanted to do, start now. Regret doesn't come from what you did. It comes from what you never got around to doing. Time is the one thing money can't buy back. Use it wisely. Final thoughts. If I could go back. I wouldn't just focus on my retirement fund. I would focus on my retirement life. I would build purpose before I needed it, protect my health before I lost it, invest in my relationships before they slipped away, secure my finances beyond just a savings account, simplify my lifestyle before it became overwhelming. And most importantly, I wouldn't wait. But I can't go back. You can. You have time to make better choices, so do it. Your future self will thank you. And if you're already retired, it's never too late to start. Because the only real mistake is waiting until it's too late. Now tell me in the comments, what's one lesson you've learned about retirement that more people should know? Until next time.